Well, good morning. Good morning. Daily Pause again, and we got a little April Fool's rendition for you. According to the schedule, it was supposed to be Mike Quinn today, but we're throwing a little screwball at you, and we got my wife, the most beautiful, the most amazing of all those that have been on the Daily Pause podcast. And so thankful to have her. She told me she doesn't want to hold the microphone, so we're just setting it right here. Not sure if that's cool or not.
It's cool. It's cool.
She said I wasn't allowed to interview her like I interviewed other people because we're married and that feels weird. And so I'm not going to do any of those things.
This is our second take because the first one I was like,
She was like, no, you
it didn't
can't
work.
interview me. You can't hold the microphone. So here we are with just a floating, standing microphone for you. And look, I could even move it here and you wouldn't see the bottom of it and it just would be floating even more. So anyways, what we're in right now is we're in this Daily Pause podcast, but it's built around the theme of pause. We've been forced to pause during this time, and yet we want to see it as an invitation to restructure, to reorient some of the ways that we see life, some of the ways that we lean into the Lord, lean into His Spirit within us. And so, Kaylee, you've been teaching me during this time, truly. A lot of this has come out of my wife and what the Lord's doing in her heart. So share with us a little bit of what you're learning and what God's doing in you. And I'm not interviewing you. This is just you talking.
Okay. Yeah, I do feel like the Lord has been doing a lot in my heart and soul lately. And I feel like the Lord uses whatever He can to draw us near Him. And right now, for me, that's been in the arena of my mom role. So I hope this is encouraging to everybody, dads, grandpas, singles. But for me, the Lord's been working on me in my mom role.
Momhood, yeah, that's a thing.
Momhood.
Ain't no hood like a motherhood.
Right.
Is that what it says? Yeah, keep going. You're good.
We're too white for that. So yeah, I feel like the Lord's been really stretching me in 3 areas right now, and really, so I wanted to share those 3 things with you, and then take what you can from it. It won't fit you specifically, and I don't want it to feel like advice because I haven't specifically asked you permission, but I hope it encourages you and gives you strength.
I give you permission to give advice.
Okay. I don't want you to think I have it all together and that every moment of my day is beautiful. And
Trust me, she doesn't have it all together.
I don't. I didn't even.
More together than this guy,
I didn't
though.
even curl the back of my hair because I knew you weren't going to see it. Okay. That wasn't relevant.
That was good. That was good. Keep going. Keep going. You're doing great.
Okay,
this is not an interview.
This is not an interview. My first thing that the Lord has been asking me to do is to sit with Him with my feelings. I can't move past where I am. I can't move forward if I am not honest and present with my feelings, which takes such courage and bravery to do. Because a lot of times those feelings for me are anxiety, fear, loneliness. I can go to sadness a lot. I go to anger, depression. Sometimes it's joy. Sometimes it's discontentment or contentment. But I have to sit with them and give what I can to the Lord. Sometimes I sit for days with one feeling, and sometimes there's just power in me identifying and naming a feeling, and then I get to move on from that.
Yeah.
I think it's so important for us to do that with our kids right now, too. There's so much coming at them, so much loss, so much grieving. Our daughter had to do that yesterday. It was all coming out sideways. She was so angry, and then all of a sudden she just burst into tears of that she didn't get to say goodbye to her friends at school, which was so heartbreaking, but I didn't give her that chance to sit with those feelings and talk that through, so it came out sideways for her.
Yeah.
And then in that, I just want to tell you, be gracious with yourself and kind.
Mm-hmm.
The same grace that the Lord has for us, you need to give to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. What else?
Okay, that was my first one, was feel. My second one is connect. That we were made for relationship. We were made for connection. We were designed to have relationship with other people, that community. So just because we're apart right now doesn't mean that we aren't still called to make those connections. So
No.
it looks different right now. For me, it looks totally different because I'm an extreme extrovert. So I have to really be mindful and intentional about making those connections right now. And then so this one also goes along with my first one of feeling, is that reach out and connect with someone about that time of feeling for yourself. There's power in saying it out loud, and releasing it and not staying stuck and moving on.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No, you're good.
Okay.
This is huge. This is huge.
And then I also just want to encourage you. For me, the Lord has been really asking me to be mindful about who and what I'm connecting to. So if I am not in a good place, I cannot look at social media. I have to intentionally ask myself, am I in a place where I can scroll? And if I'm not...
She said scroll, not squirrel. I don't know if the microphone picked that up. It's not squirrel, it's scroll.
Scroll.
There you go.
So if I'm not in a good place, it leads me to comparison. It leads me to dread and fear, and all of those feelings come up, and then I have to go back to number one, which totally slows down my day. So yeah, when I'm not in a good place, I go listen to a podcast because that makes me feel connected. A good podcast, a mindful one. I can give some of those if you're interested. And what's really been building me up right now and encouraging my soul. I have to be so mindful in this season especially. We tried to watch the Tiger Man. What's his name? Tiger King.
Sure.
The king of all the tigers. And I told Caleb halfway through, turn it off. I don't want to give myself feelings of whatever if I don't have to actually feel those feelings. Those weren't mine to own.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with, if you like Tiger King, go for it. It brought up feelings in me that I wasn't comfortable with.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Talk to me about what you've created in our home as far as rhythm.
Okay, this is my number 3. So first was feel, second was connect, and then my third one is to create a rhythm. I'm a person of extreme, so sometimes I go to the way extreme and super rigid of creating a schedule and a structure and a rhythm that is not necessarily helpful. But we do not function well in chaos. I believe no one does. I think some people can kind of muster up some strength and power in chaos, and your gifting kind of says that you can do it, but I don't believe the Lord has designed us for our lives to feel chaotic. So for me, that looks like creating a schedule and actually following it. But it does also mean that in my schedule, I bake in and allow for things that my kids have asked for or Caleb has asked for, that it's not just my schedule, that it's a group project that we have done. For me too, I can't make decisions during my day, like simple decisions, unless I have prioritized my time well.
What's your favorite part of your day? Let's pretend like maybe it's the start of your day when...
Okay, so in order for my day to go healthfully and for me to be present, I have to start my day when I hear the 3 beeps on the coffee maker. It means Caleb is done making the coffee, and I come out of bed, and Caleb and I spend about 45 minutes every morning in our living room doing coffee. The kids are invited in, but it's a quiet space.
Sacred.
It's
sacred
sacred
time
for us.
Yes, holy ground. We take our shoes off. And
That was a pun.
Oh,
Holy
ground. Yeah,
ground.
we don't actually take our shoes off. We don't have shoes on yet at that point of the day.
No.
But we don't.
We're still in our jammies. We're still groggy. We just go slow. It's probably our
You
favorite
guys, it has
little
been a
time.
gift. I will tell you this. She did create a whole daily calendar for our kiddos, for us, for our family, and it has been such life-giving. It has brought peace. It has brought pause. And so, yeah, I would take her up on this. She has been a gift for our home. She's been a gift for me. But that first part of just feeling your emotions for what they are, so that you can call them by name and give them to the Lord if you need to.
Yeah.
Connecting with those around you who can bear those burdens together, who can own it with you, and then to create rhythm in your day that is consistent, that you can expect certain things. And really, I think what I love is that we've chosen to bake in the priorities, and then everything else fits in where it fits in.
Yeah.
But you start with those priorities. And
so we just, like I say, what do I need? What does Caleb need? What does the kids need? And I think a little mom trick is just be careful how you word it. Don't call it chore hour, call it help hour. And it's not the same chores every day. What would be the most helpful thing for our family in that hour? Sometimes the most helpful thing is going on a bike ride or whatever. And then I titled our schedule today, We Get To. So it's not a schedule, it's a look what we get to do today. And then the last thing that I'll say is that I just want to encourage you to ask the Lord for strength and vision for your family, that He will give you what you need to love on your family and those in your house during this time. I'm fully confident of it, that when you're brave and courageous and ask the Lord for strength, He will give you it. I know it.
Thanks, babe.
Yep.
Love you. Hope you guys have a phenomenal day. And we'll see you on Friday for our Daily Pause with Mike Quinn this time. Maybe we'll throw a different curveball at you. But hey, also, we're moving into Easter and Palm Sunday and Good Friday. Start letting your hearts go there and start meditating on what an incredible week that took place in our history that we can look to. So love you guys. Have an awesome day. See you soon.